All right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Raw Law Unfiltered with your host, the DUI Guy Plus. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that is about to become very, very hot, especially with this long weekend upon us. Memorial Day weekend in the United States, for those of you who may be living in other countries wondering why the Americans are so excited for the weekend, is because it's going to be a 3-day weekend: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, as well as pools opening up. This is notoriously the weekend when all of our outdoor pools open up. A lot of parents have a lot more free time, a lot more children are able to roam free, and so it's a very good time for everybody involved, and adults get to enjoy the pool as well. So people have been saying, Larry, why are you talking about this? Like maybe you shouldn't. Maybe if you just ignore the topic, it will go away. Why are you bringing this to the forefront? Well, it's kind of like having your car on fire. I mean, sure, eventually the flames will die down and the car will be incinerated. You can just kind of sit back, ignore, and kind of watch your car, you know, burst into flames and burn to crisp, or you can do something about it, like maybe call the fire department and say, "Hey, my car's on fire. Do you want to come put it out before I blow half the neighborhood to smithereens? There's a gas tank in that car. Did you know that?" So it's very, very dangerous to simply, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil on a topic that is going to become very, very relevant very, very soon. Here's what I'm talking about. Back in May 2022, Amber, in the middle of the trial, and this, I believe this motion was made earlier. I can't exactly pinpoint when that motion was made. It may have been made in April, uh, before the trial started, maybe in March of 2022. We could go back through the court records and find it, but we don't really need to. It doesn't really matter when the motion was made. The important part is when Judge Azcarate signed the order to seal the jurors' names. Okay. So Amber, and this is kind of interesting because although it was Amber who filed the motion initially, it was actually to her detriment that the motion was granted and the order was signed sealing all the jurors' names, because I'm sure Johnny doesn't care to talk to these jurors. It is Amber and her crazy following that are more interested than anybody else to know what the jurors were thinking. Johnny doesn't care. Team Johnny doesn't really care. What we are deathly afraid of is what Amber Heard and her stans, who have no morals, no ethics, no scruples, no desire for decency, and as we have seen over the past year, are willing to go to great lengths of gaslighting, manipulation of evidence, manipulation of fact, and manipulation of reality in order to bend over backwards and achieve their means. So now you have this group of vile people who potentially may have access to the names of these jurors. That's why we need to talk about it. Because if not I, then who? Um, I I mean, the best really that I can do. I'm just a lawyer in Kentucky and a lawyer who also has a YouTube channel and a quite a massive following. I'm not going to lie, which I'm very, very appreciative of. And I'm reaching out to just kind of let you all know that the jury is potentially in grave danger. of simply being harassed. I don't think anything is really going to happen to them. They're still human beings, you know. As vile as the Amber Heard supporters are, they're not. Well, I shouldn't probably finish that sentence. Um, there are many things. Let's just leave it at that. Well, Team Johnny doesn't really care. And if the jurors decide to come forward themselves, that's fine. But here's the problem. As you can see, this is the order. Okay. This is the civil case that was filed in 2019 before the pandemic. John C. Depp II versus Amber Laura Heard. The matter came to be heard upon defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Laura Heard, Ms. Heard's motion to seal records relating to jurors' identities filed on May 16th. Oh, I apologize. It was filed on May 16th. So it was literally filed the day that I came to court for the first time, as well as Ian and Rob and all of us. That's literally when Amber was on the stand. And I think, actually, now that I think about it some more, it reminds me of something. So remember, Amber took the stand, and I remember this very clearly because it was my birthday and the day before my birthday when she first took the stand. And then she spent the entire day on the stand on my birthday. I think she knew what was coming. I think she knew what was coming, but she didn't know how bad it was going to be. So just to protect herself, she filed this because after she took the stand, well, let me back up. Before Amber took the stand in April 2022 and beginning of May 2022, Johnny has already been on the stand. Amber has not yet been on the stand. The case was still kind of like maybe in Amber's favor. The media was still covering Amber and blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of like something really did happen. But then on May 4th, when Elaine Bredehoft calls Amber Heard to the stand and begins the direct examination, followed by May 5th, my birthday, again, best birthday gift I have ever received in my entire life. It was my 34th at the time. She testified for a whole day, and I was on Nick Rekieta's channel, and we were watching it, and we were all going, what is going on here? Something is missing. Something is wrong. This is not right. Like her testimony doesn't match her actions. Her actions don't match her words. Her words are not making sense. Something is askew. And the rest of the world kind of followed. Now, May 6th was a Friday, and if you remember, they did not have court on Fridays. And then the following week was a judge's conference week, so Judge Azcarate was out. The next court date that they had court was May 16th, and that was when yours truly was in the courtroom. And that is when this motion was made. This was after Amber knew the damage that she has done to her case. She was like, okay, you know what? I don't want you to talk to any of these jurors, at least for a year. So they asked the judge, will you seal it? The names of all these jurors, and the judge said, probably asked Ben and Camille, do you have Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez on Team Johnny? Do you have any objection? And they probably said no, because we don't care. I mean, that's a reasonable request, especially in the highly publicized trial such as this. You don't want to talk to we don't want the jurors to be exposed to potential harassment and nagging. And I want to talk to you. Can you answer some questions? I want to talk to you. None of that. So 2 weeks before the verdict, basically, give or take a couple of days, the motion is made. And that same Wednesday, on May 18th, Judge Azcarate grants it. She said, on consideration of the briefs and arguments of counsel that have been made, it is hereby ordered that Ms. Heard's motion is granted, and it is further ordered that the names of all jurors shall remain sealed for 1 year following the conclusion of the trial in this matter. Now, what does it mean, conclusion? All right. So ordered, by the way, May 18th, 2022. Honorable Judge Azcarate, Chief Judge, Fairfax County Circuit Court. And this was distributed to Elaine Bredehoft, Rottenborn. They're the ones asking for it. And it was also sent to Camille Vasquez, Ben Chu, and Brown Rudnick. There is some note here Seen and agreed only accepting something and characterization in defendant's motion to which plaintiffs objects. Oh, agreed only accepting some characterization defendant's motion to which plaintiff objects. So I guess there were some characterizations that the plaintiff, Johnny Depp basically objected to. Nothing stylistically important. But essentially, this is the most important sentence of this entire order. So it's ordered that the names of all jurors shall remain sealed for 1 year following the conclusion of the trial in this matter. So what does that mean? 1 year, that's easy to understand, right? The names of all jurors shall remain sealed. That's easy to understand. Following the conclusion of the trial in this matter, that's the hard part. So it's 1 year. Their names shall be sealed for 1 year, but from what date? There is no specific date. Um, some might argue, and I think it's very logical to argue that the conclusion of the trial was on June the 1st. That was when the jury rendered their verdict. That's when they went home. I think it would be very unreasonable to argue that the 1 year began on May, I think it would be 26th, 27th, like tomorrow. May 27th was actually closing arguments when they went back to deliberate. Although technically the trial concluded on that day, the jury still has not rendered a verdict. They still had a job to do. And if you remember, they took a break the 28th and 29th because it was Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday was Memorial Day. They came back on Tuesday, the 31st, and then they rendered a verdict on June the 1st. So that would mean that June 1st, 2023 is when the trial of this matter concluded. That is the conclusion of this matter. And their names are no longer sealed. Okay. So I've kind of just very casually threw it out there. I don't think anything is going to be done, and I really don't expect it at the end of the day. But I've noticed, and I'm not alone in this, that there is a huge wave of support in this. Um, People are afraid, especially in the Johnny Depp camp. The vast majority of people who I've shared this with and have tweeted about it are not comfortable with the fact that these, again, it all boils down to them, the Amber Heard stands, are going to have access to these names and are going to potentially harass these individuals. Because I will speak for myself first, okay? And then you all are free to either agree or disagree and follow or not follow whoever you may be. I don't care if we never hear from these people as long as I live. If they get to carry on, the jurors, that is, if the jurors get to carry on their lives without any harassment, any interaction, any interviews, any conversations, any discussions, any mention, or even a conversation about the trial, I will be a happy man and can live the rest of my days comfortably without any curiosity or any worry, knowing or not knowing how, why they decided the way that they decided. Okay. That's my statement about the situation. Um, what makes me afraid is what these young minds are capable of that are so disconnected from reality. First of all, that they even support Amber Heard in the first place. I mean, you already have to have a few screws loose just at the outset. Like you don't come into this world a reasonable person and go, "Yes, I believe Amber." So you already have a few screws loose to begin with to be an Amber Heard supporter. Now, add on top of that a lack of a job because obviously they have all the time in the world to be tweeting about this shit. Um, no morals, no scruples. We've seen how they've been attacking people on Twitter at the very least. So we know that they have no moral compass. And now give them names of people who decided against their queen bee or whatever the fuck they call her these days, queen of the mashed potatoes, number one of the 39. I don't know. I don't know. Big Mac, maybe just call her the biggest Mac. I don't know. I don't know. Makanadana do numero uno. I don't know. Like whatever the fuck they call her. Now these people potentially are going to have names, and that is a problem. And that is a problem. And that is not a problem that any of us can solve, other than simply collectively rise to the occasion if, God forbid, one of these jurors reaches out and says, "Look, I need some help here." Because this is why I'm telling you, because it is going to happen. I have a very strong feeling this is not they just can't let it go. They're they're physically incapable. They don't know how to. This is all they live for. They don't have like a job, they don't have a hobby. Like, you think these fuckers play chess or something? Like, do you think they watch movies? Well, they maybe they do of their beloved queen. Ugh. But that's about it. And so now, oh hey, is Astacron in the house? What's up, brother? He's gonna be oh, my man is in the house. It's Angel from Astacron Entertainment. He says, I'll be translating this for our Spanish speaking and visually impaired community tomorrow. We send you and your viewers the best. My man, I appreciate it. Much love, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I love that my video gets translated to the Spanish speaking community. Everybody gets to enjoy this information and this content because it's very, very important. This piece really truly is important. Um, Somebody said, "Oh, dude, Larry, that thumbnail is fire." And I said, "On many, many levels, yes, yes, it is." So, so now, I'm glad I see I'm not alone. Anne says, "Sadly, I believe your strong feelings are correct." So now we simply have to wait and see how this plays out because there's really not, like I said, I didn't finish the statement. I tweeted a response and I tagged Brown Rudnick on Twitter, whatever the fuck that means. Probably means nothing. Asking if there's a way to file a motion to extend the order past a year to keep the names of the jurors sealed. But there are two kind of strange caveats, and somebody tried to call me out on it, and I was like, "Look, first practice some law and then fucking get back to me, right?" Um, Normally, historically, let's say when a party makes a motion, in this case, Amber, a year ago and 10 days, a year and 10 days ago, filed a motion saying, Judge Azcarate, please seal the jurors' names. Okay. Well, here we are. It was granted until about June the 1st. That's pretty much what I believe is the date of the conclusion of the trial, as if you will. Legal minds may vary. And now it would have to be Amber Heard and her team asking, Your Honor, we would like an extension of said order. But that's not exactly true. As you saw, Brown Rudnick, Camille Vasquez, Benchu, they agreed with the order. They said, yes, we agree with the order, and we have no objection to sealing the names of the jurors. It would not be It would be unusual, but it would definitely not be impossible for Brown Rudnick to come in and say, Your Honor, we would like to extend this motion for another year or something like that. We just don't believe, this case is still going very hot. I mean, I would argue something along the lines of over the past 12 months, uh, 11 of the 12, we've had weeks where, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard are still trending on Twitter to this day. Like it's probably trending right now if I check. Let me see, twitter.com. Amber Heard is an abuser is the number like two, number three. Why is Kentucky trending? I'm proud of how far we've come, Kentucky. What the hell? Why is Daniel Cameron elections? I don't know. That was weird. That was really weird. But anyway, so like Amber Heard is an abuser is trending today. Like, Your Honor, these hashtags have been trending for months, and they've been trending as far as they probably could say this morning. When they make the motion. I don't know if any such motion has been made. I haven't requested the court records yet. It's on my to-do list for Tuesday. And so the problem now is if no such motion is made, and like I said, it would be quite unusual for Brown Rudnick to be like, well, we want to take over. We would like to file this motion to reseal the names a year after this year. So make it 2 years, Your Honor. And like two problems may occur. Number one, Amber Heard and her team may object. And they may say, there's no reason for that. You can release them. And the judge may agree. There's no reason to extend the sealing of the names. Number two, nobody makes the motion in the first place. Not Camille Vasquez or Ben Chu, which again, no taking credit away from them. They're busy people, and this is probably not on their priorities list, which I understand. And of course, Ben Rottenborn and Elaine Bredehoft and Ben Rottenborn and the rest of the team, they just don't give a shit. I mean, let the names be released. Let hellfire and Armageddon rain from the skies. Fine, whatever. So all of those things could potentially happen or not happen. At the end of the day, we just have to brace ourselves for the worst possible outcome. Pray for the best, expect the worst. That's kind of my policy and has been my policy, and I think should be our collective policy in this situation. Here's what's going to happen. On Thursday, hypothetically speaking, if the names do become public, the order expires, 1 year will have elapsed, and now the names are available. First and foremost, I urge every single one of you to simply let it happen if it does, and not try to reach out to them yourselves, because that is not going to do anybody any good. They're just going to be bombarded with information. They're going to be bombarded with messages or phone calls that I don't know. And because still, just because you have a name does not mean you're not going to have like an email address and a phone number. I mean, you might, but probably not. You still have to hunt it down, right? So just let it ride. Jurors, if at least one of you is watching, and if you know who the others are, and maybe you can get in contact, please, if you need assistance, if anybody is harassing you to any degree, I'm talking just noticeably, we are here. You have an entire armada. That we're not an army anymore. We are a horde, HORDE. We are an armada that support you, not just because of your decision, but because we support Johnny Depp and we don't stand for the vileness of the Amber Heard camp. Okay? So heed my words. We are here. We're very easily found on Twitter, myself included. You don't have to reach out to me if you don't want to. I'm not asking you to. Please don't. If you want to reach out to somebody else, please do. If you don't want to reach out to anybody at all, don't. But if you need assistance, if you need help, please don't hesitate, because we are here for you. We are here to protect you. We are here to help you through a potentially very tough time. And hopefully it blows over within like a week. The names are released and, it happens, and then it just goes to sleep and nobody ever does anything. It is a very likely possibility that will happen. But I'm making this video in order to ensure that there are protective measures that are put into place. God forbid the worst of the worst happens. And that is, all 39 of these witches start coming after you and with messages and whatnot, because they just don't care. Like I said, they have no morals. They have no scruples. They have no moral compass. They have no ethical boundaries that confine their actions. It's like releasing a wild rabid raccoon in the middle of the state fair. That's what it's like dealing with an Amber Heard stan. Offense intended. A wild, rabid raccoon in the middle of like the square of the state fair where like everybody congregates. You're just trying to eat a corn dog and there's this little, coming at you, and you're just like, dude, like kill it with fire. Like, do you have a stick? Just beat it on the head, That's what you're dealing with. There's no morality. There's no. What was that one movie? Oh my gosh, it reminded me of a movie, and I can't think of the name of it. Um. Anyway, I just can't think of it right now. But that's basically what you're up against. So if you are watching this, um, just know that you're not alone. Just know that we have your back. And the Johnny Depp camp, again, not because of it has nothing to do with your decision. Trust me. Because at the end of the day, I guess you did decide even one of the claims that Amber made, which we know that that's you made the right decision no matter what. We are just worried for your safety if and when, God forbid, something happens. That's all. So I believe the protective measures are now officially in place. You are aware of the potential storm that is coming. You know the fail safes, and potentially nothing is going to happen. But again, the reason I made this video is a prophylactic measure. So to those of you who are saying, well, look, the car is on fire, just let it burn, you know, is not a good argument. It just doesn't work. So, um, yeah. Can the names be sealed forever? Probably not. I think that is an exaggeration. It wouldn't be a miscarriage of justice, really, but like no judge will ever agree to that. It just seems a little excessive. I would say about maybe 5 years for it all to die down, and it still might not, but 5 years would be better than a year. The OJ trial was a little different. You know, OJ was a celebrity in a trial that lasted, was it 9 months, 10 months? It was extremely long. Everybody thought he was guilty, and he just got off on a technicality because the jury was so bombarded with information they couldn't handle it anymore. So the public may have been upset with OJ, but this is nowhere near the level of, like, you have a tiny little pocket of rabid raccoons, the 39 rabid mashed potato Big Mac watchers, and that pocket is capable of a lot, but thankfully they don't know how to do research, so it may take them a while. Do the jurors know anything we don't know? Of course. I mean, they were in the room, Justice. They were in the room deliberating. They listened to the test. They can literally tell you their own impressions of the trial. Like I said, I don't care. But they have lots of valuable information. They literally have the first person perspective of the trial. They can tell you what they thought about each witness. They could tell you what they talked about during deliberations. They could tell you why they made the decision that they made and why they leaned towards that. They can tell you why at first they came out and there was no even money judgment on the table and they just decided in favor of Johnny for the most part, and just threw Amber a bone, you know. And we did see way more than they did, but we don't have the first person perspective. We have the third person perspective. Are the turds turning on Eve? What did Eve do? Man, I'm so behind. By the way, the jury is still deliberating on the Masterson case, aren't they? The Amber stands will twist everything they say as usual. Yep. I completely agree, Larry. Beautifully said. If nothing happens, that's great. But if the evil ones attack, we're all here to support the jurors. There you go. You've heard it here first. I was trying to think of Clockwork Orange, says Lulu's mom. Good comparison. Um, I don't know. There's another movie like this is not the one I was thinking, but I'm trying to think of the scene you're thinking of in Clockwork Orange. Great movie, by the way. So weird, but great movie. Um, Gremlins. Think of Gremlins. It's kind of the same thing. When you pour water on them, it's kind of like that, you know. Masterson jury has been deliberating for more than 6 days. They've been deliberating since Wednesday of last week. That was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 8 days. And Tuesday will be going into day 9 of deliberations. And it's 5:35 in California, which means they all went home. No verdict today. She's been setting Amber up behind her back for an entire year. Tug Sim, I just saw your screenshot. Why can't Amber Heard supporters realize she's just using them and doesn't care about Amber's well-being? Honestly, wow. That's one of the big ones. That's a professional incel insider. Aw, thank you, Rose. I love them too. It's nice how like when you're just building a community, the community echoes who you are. I've noticed pretty much every law tuber has a very unique community. Like there's a lot of crossover of the people, but it's not like a one size fits all. We each have our own very unique communities, and I love that about YouTube and our each individual following. Is Tug going to do a video on it? Shout out to you, Tug, by the way. I hope you're doing well, brother. I know Tug and I have both been kind of out of the scene. He's been dealing with his stuff. I've been dealing with my stuff. But we're basically back. I'm going to try and do. Hey, Elusive Red, how are ya? Hey, Denise. Hey, B. Hey, B. Hey. Oh my God, it reminds me of a joke. It's so fucking stupid, but it's just funny. What do gay horses eat? And I don't mean happy. What do gay horses eat? Do you know? Hey! It's so fucking dumb, but it's funny. Tug is loving this. I don't know. I don't think he watches me. Sometimes he jumps in the chat. I'm late. You may begin. Elon. Okay, just for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Raw Law Unfiltered with your host, the DUI Guy Plus. Today, we're going to talk about Elon Hart. So Elon decided to join us late, so we're just going to shit on Elon and make fun of Elon for being late and not scrolling back and watching the video from the beginning like normal people do. Y'all want to see Zinnia? I think it's Zinnia time. What do you all think? Here we go. Here we go. Hi, Zinni. Hi, baby. This is this is my computer chair. And right now, because I'm streaming, I like to use a chair with not a high back. People have said it looks like I'm sitting in a open sarcophagus because of this high back right there. You see, that's always visible behind my neck. It's a dead mouse chair, by the way. Hell yeah, dead mouse. It's not Dead Mouse 5, you bastards. And so she usually, because that chair is very comfy and she knows it. That chair is very comfy. She likes to lay in it and sit in it when I'm not using it. And so There she is, Sweetums. Hi, Zinny. Hi, baby. How are ya? Oh, Chat really missed your pretty face. Didn't you, Chat? Oh my goodness, look at this pretty kitty. Look at this pretty kitty. Meow. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Papa. Yeah. um would the conclusion be when Amber's attorneys get paid? No, that's way too no, no, no. All right, let's see. When I turn the flash off, she seems more natural, but you can't see her as well. Right, Zinni? It's too dark. It's too dark. Such a pretty kitty. Okay. All right. So back to beeswax. So there was a question, a very interesting question, that this is probably going to be the next video that I make. The insurance company cases, right? Sarah B brings up a very good point. What is going on with the insurance company cases? So we have two cases, right? So these are going to be the next videos coming up, maybe this weekend, maybe next week, because I got some catching up to do on those cases. I know that Laura B has been making videos, as far as I know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was. She did the latest motions and the latest orders, but the insurance company cases, for those of you who may not be familiar, they're on my channel, by the way. They're in the same playlist as the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial and appeal. The insurance cases there's two of them. You have a New York Marine versus Travelers, Travelers versus New York Marine, and then New York Marine versus Amber. Basically, Amber saying pay up, Travelers saying pay up, and New York Marine saying fuck you both. Last we left them, Amber tried to squeeze in a counterclaim, which was completely baseless, and the judge, I believe, crushed it and dismissed it. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it played out and how it went down. So that was done, but you still have the case to deal with. And once the case continues, I mean, it's set for trial in December, which is still a ways away. It's about 7 months away. It's probably not going to go to trial. It's probably going to settle, would be my guess. Those cases rarely ever go to trial, but you never know. You never know. And I think it's a completely garbage case, not because I don't support a lot of the things that Amber does, but I truly, truly, truly think that the insurance company has an out. This is literally the one time I will ever root for an insurance company and pray for them to win, because I think they have the correct argument. When Amber took out the policy, she knew what she was doing, her nefarious purposes in taking out the policy. And you can't just kind of go back and say, well, I want to be covered anyway. Especially when her intentional tort has been found. She's been found liable for an intentional tort. I always like to make this example, if those of you who have not been watching me yet on this. Imagine if you intentionally rammed your car into the back of another and said, hey, it is my fault. I don't care. You're still going to pay me under my no-fault policy. It's a bad example, but essentially that's what it boils down to. Your conduct was intentional. We don't pay. You only get paid if you were hit negligently, right? If you were hit intentionally, we don't pay. So, and beautifully Beautifully damaged. If those of you who don't know that meme, you're missing out. Go Google it. It's called emotional damage. Go to the internets right now. You are going to die laughing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you do know what I'm talking about, God bless you. But Beautifully Damaged has been a staple on our channel. It's good to see you. And she says, damn, good to see you too. Good to see you. Looking good. Thank you so much. You, Johnny, and me, Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky. Yes. Johnny's from Kentucky. Yes. And me. Oh, are you also from Kentucky? Yes. Awesome. Larry, what happens if she's found at fault? What are the possible consequences? She has been found at fault at the Johnny Depp trial. I don't understand the question, Denise. Insurance company will not have to pay, I guess, is the answer you're looking for. It's a bad question, but I see what you're trying to ask, I think. Insurance company just won't have to pay. If they determine that the policy does not cover her conduct, then they don't have to pay. And that's the end of that. I think that's your question. Because she was already found liable when you really think about it. Because the verdict came June 1st, 2022. You know what I mean? So that fate's already sealed. You can't undo the clock. You can't turn back the clock. Yeah, with respect to insurance, yeah. So would AH have to pay it back? Well, whatever the insurance company already paid, they're probably not going to ask for it. They might, maybe. But they're basically saying whatever we owe you from that day forward, which was like April of, or like September of 2021, something like that. I can't remember the exact dates. Go back and watch the videos. It's all in the videos. I know they may be a little complicated. Don't get me wrong. Even for a lawyer, they're pretty complicated to read because there's a lot of nuances. But the gist is there, and I try to explain it as best as I can. Hey, Fem Natal, good to see you. Long time. I'm afraid they'll be doxing everyone's address, contact their work, trying to get them canceled. I mean, how do you get a private person's life canceled is beyond me. But I agree. I agree, Elephant. I hope that all the jurors stay safe. And I have now that this is out in the open and everybody's talking about it, because see, that was my goal with all of this, is to get the conversation started. Because I think it's important to discuss actually, this is brilliant, the elephant in the room. I think it's important to talk about the elephant in the room. You can't make this stuff up. This is the subconscious making its own little jokes. I swear to God. You have to talk about the elephant in the room. Because if you don't talk about the elephant in the room, well, then everybody is kind of scatterbrained. Like, what's going on? What can we do? You know, somebody can be like, dude, just go check out the DY guy's video. Like the first 20 minutes of it, he tells you exactly what's going on, what's happening, and how it should be addressed. Oh, I just need to spend 20 minutes of my time to watch this schmuck's video. Yeah, bro, just go check it out. YouTube, DUIGuyPlus.com, like and subscribe and like view and like whatever. And then just, you know, whatever, like during your lunch break, like when you're eating some food, like, you know, just whatever. Yep. So that's basically it. That's basically it. Guidance. I want to provide guidance just so that if there are any questions like, oh, this is what you can do, you know. Not really, Joni. Can a juror keep their name from being revealed? That's not really possible. I wonder if any of them are writing a book. That's actually a very good point. What if some of them are writing a book about their experiences? And they just, you know what they should just call the book? Oh my God, I just came up with a brilliant title. Whatever their juror number is, like juror number 12. That's the name of the book. That's it. Juror number 12 by Anonymous. Publish. Everybody and their mother would buy that book. Juror number 12 or whatever. Juror number 37. Author, anonymous. And that's the cover. It's a big giant question mark. Juror number, no, better yet, it's just a white cover, black text. Juror number 37, anonymous. That's it. See, even Lana's like, yeah, I would buy this book. That would be, it's so brilliant because like everybody knows who's writing it. At least now. I mean, 20 years down the road, I don't know if people would be like, what juror, what case, what was the trial? Is it criminal? Is it civil? You know. So I think somebody already sold their notes. What does incel mean? Joellen, it is okay. The literal definition of an incel is someone who is involuntarily celibate. That is the actual word. Okay. What does that mean? Celibacy means you choose not to have sex. All right. So if you're celibate, if you're a monk, a priest, a nun, whatever, you can't have sex. So you are an incel by definition. Excuse me. You're celibate. Excuse me. You're celibate by definition. Incel is a word, involuntarily celibate. There are two words in there. And that means like you would love to have sex, you would love to copulate, but the problem is nobody wants you. And because you're such scum of the earth, basically, undesirable, non-wantable, no future prospects, no future marriage prospects or sexual prospects, and you can't copulate, not because you don't want to, you would love to, just nobody will choose you. So you're involuntarily celibate. Basically can't get laid by anybody anywhere, and your best bet is, you know, a jar of lube and pornography on a Friday night. Sorry if I'm calling you out. But you know what I mean? That's basically that's an incel. However, that's the literal definition. However, the AH camp has kind of taken that term and expanded on it. And basically anyone who supports Johnny is now an incel. It doesn't matter if you're male, doesn't matter if you're female, doesn't matter what you say. All you have to do is kind of poke the bear and be like, Amber sucks. And it'll be like, you're an incel. And it's like, I'm married though, and I have 5 kids. I don't care. You're an incel. Like, because you said something I don't like. So they diluted that word. Incel actually used to mean something. Now an incel is someone who like doesn't support my cause. You know what I mean? Oh, that's even better. Water Dragon. Oh my God, that's too good. That should have been mine. Juror number 12 by Rando. Juror 12 by Rando. That is so good. Or even better, Juror 12 by Rando number 37. Oh man. It's been fun. I really missed this. Those were the days, huh? Put the fedora on if you're talking about sex, Larry. Thanks, Jen Grimspring. Long time no see. Welcome back. Why do I need a fedora on? All right. Well, we've been going almost an hour. I'm going to do some more videos this weekend, so come join me live. Unless you're going to be chilling by the pool, then watch me from the pool, or watch me later, or watch me whenever, whatever. Watch me the next day. Watch me the next morning. Nobody really cares. Or join me right when I'm live. So tomorrow night, I'm going to try and maybe do something. And then Saturday night, which is tomorrow night. And then Sunday night. Actually, tomorrow night, I'm going to visit my parents. So probably not, unless I do it sooner, unless I do it earlier. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'll be live. I'll be live. And oh, I almost forgot. Claire Best is going to be joining me again on Tuesday. No, Wednesday. If you don't remember Claire Best, my God, she is a gold mine. She's a diamond mine of information. And she has, thank you for joining as a member, Nelly. Cancer sucks. Yes, hashtag cancer does fucking suck. So I'm going to leave you with that cliffhanger. She has fire to share with you guys. See you all on the weekend. Have a great one. Bye bye.